Coolermaster's Devastator combo packs have always been very reliable and popular with the budget-minded consumers, so can the Devastator 3 continue this legacy? Let's find out. This keyboard and mouse combo is hitting the market for just 55 Aussie dollars or 40 US dollars, which is an extremely competitive price and places it in better contention than the Cougar Deathfire or Deathfire EX, which is my personal favourite at the moment. First up, let's take a tour of the mouse. On the left hand side is two stiff feeling side buttons, but are positioned perfectly to be able to press either of them with ease. Underneath that is a fairly thick rubberized grip, which is greatly appreciated, although it is smooth, so sweaty fingers may slide on it a bit. On the right hand side is another thick rubber grip. Protruding out the front is a rubber coated 2 meter long USB 2.0 connector, and either side of that is the first lighting area, which looks like mini air vents. On top is the satisfying to press left and right click buttons featuring Omron switches rated at 10 million clicks. In between them we have a rubberized scroll wheel that has individually defined steps, a somewhat stiff actuation force required, and also lighting either side of it. Behind that is a slightly too far back to press comfortably lighting switch, which allows you to cycle through all 7 colours, which are red, green, dark blue, yellow, light blue, purple, and white, but can also be switched off for more of a stealth look. You can also change the DPI by holding down this button, then pressing either of the side buttons to go up or down a step, which is a bit annoying as doing this will also change the selected colour. The 4 DPI levels are 600, 1200, 1800 and 2400, which is pretty good variety to cover most gamers' needs. Also, this button is another lighting area. Just below that, on the palm area, are these Tron looking lines that also act as yet another lighting area, which really pulls off this futuristic appeal I believe Coolermaster was trying for. On the underside is 4 medium-sized PTFE feet, which gave me no issues with gliding while gaming. In the middle is an unknown Avago sensor that is the final lighting area. All these lighting areas are linked together and cannot be individually set. Size-wise, this mouse is 119mm long, 65mm wide and 37mm high, and weighs in at about 104 grams with a bit of cable. Build quality wise, this is a very strong mouse, made out of plastic. The top of the mouse is a matte finish, and does show some skin oil residue, but it seems to be very minimal. Let's swap over to the keyboard and take a look. At the top of the keyboard we have media controls such as stop, play, pause, back, forward, and also mute and unmute, which is a very welcome addition, especially at this price point. All keys are present, as this is a full-size standard keyboard. Some keys to highlight, which are activated when the left-hand side function key is being pressed, is the F11 key, which locks or unlocks the keyboard, the left-hand side function button, which enables or disables the Windows Home key, the middle plus and minus keys that increase or decrease the pulsating effect speed, page up and page down, which will increase or decrease the lighting's brightness, and the lighting adjust key itself, which will change the colours when pressed down on its own, but coupled with the right-hand side function key will switch between the pulsating effect or a solid colour. Speaking of lighting, let's take a look at the colours now, starting off with red, green, dark blue, yellow, light blue, purple, then white, with also the option to disable the lighting if it's not really your thing. The only effect this keyboard can do is pulsating, which will fade each colour in and out, and the speed can be adjusted by the alternative functions on the plus and minus keys. Oddly though, the brightness function can only affect solid colours, and not the pulsating effect. Every key displays a selected colour or effect except the num lock, caps lock and Windows lock LEDs that stay white unfortunately. The font on the keycaps is legible and also follows the futuristic look. Underneath the keycap is Coolermaster's in-house membrane switches, which do feel a bit mushy but does give you that tactile bump to feel when pushing down so you don't bottom out the key. Here is a typing test for your hearing pleasure. On the base of the keyboard is a nice little wrist rest, which is slightly too short to be completely comfortable for me, but it is appreciated. The lines on the rest seems to follow the Tron-like lines from the mouse. Over to the back of the keyboard, where we find 4 decent sized rubber feet that do a great job of not letting the keyboard slide. There is height adjustment provided by 2 plastic feet, but unfortunately there is no rubber on the base of these. Protruding at the top is a 1.8 meter USB 1.1 connector, which allows this keyboard to connect at a polling rate of 125 Hz. Around a few of the edges is a glossy plastic, which is especially present on the wrist rest, which aesthetically adds to the keyboard's overall appeal, but is a nightmare for dust and fingerprints. Size-wise, this keyboard is 450mm long, 148mm wide, and 36mm high, and weighs in at 806 grams. Now the boring stuff's out of the way, let's do some tests. First off, we need to check for sensor rattle, which there is none, so this is a pass. Next up, we have sensor height recognition, which we do by slowly lowering the mouse until the sensor is recognised. Unfortunately, this sensor was picked up a little too high for my liking, so this is a fail. Line prediction is up next, which we do by trying to draw a straight line and see if the sensor unnaturally corrects it, which it clearly did, so this is a fail. Sensor skipping is the next test, which we do by drawing a continual spiral while checking for any breaks within the image. This one is a pass. The final test is the acceleration test, which is done by rapidly dragging the mouse left to right to see if the cursor stops when we stop and stops where we want it to stop. I could barely tell that acceleration was present with this sensor, so this is a pass. Doom is our next test, as it's a great game to test both accuracy and movement. Another game I like to test is Unreal Tournament, as movement is just as important as accuracy. The combo performed great in these games, although I found my accuracy to be a bit lackluster. In conclusion, if you are just getting into PC gaming or looking at getting some better peripherals on a budget, this combo is my number one pick. The price to performance for this set is amazing value, with some nice simplistic lighting added in. If you do find the lighting a bit lackluster, I would say go for the Deathfire EX, as its colour options are amazing, but if that doesn't interest you, the Devastator 3 is my recommended buy on a budget. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and if you really enjoyed it, please consider subscribing for more reviews and other content in the future. If you have a suggestion, question or criticism, leave a comment, and thank you very much for watching.